IG, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. What up? Y'all already know the drill. Drop your name, your business name in the chat. Today we are going to talk about Business Funding 301. Business Funding 301. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. All right. Today we're going to talk about Business Funding 301. Now you may be asking, well, first of all, I'm looking at 3 different screens, so don't mind me. Now you may be asking yourself, what's up, Matthew? Will, what does Business Funding 301 mean? That means I'm going to give you guys a crash course in understanding funding at a high level. Again, I'm going to give you a crash course of understanding funding at a high level. See, there's a lot of information right now on the internet teaching people about funding. Yes, I will save this live, Nina Stacks. There's a lot of information on the internet, people teaching people about funding. Most of it is wrong. Most of it is wrong. I want to pose a question. Has anybody on here got jammed up with some bad funding advice? Has anybody on any one of these lives got jammed up with some bad funding advice? If so, type the number 1 in the chat. Has anybody on any one of these platforms that I'm on? I have Instagram, I have TikTok, I have Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Has anyone on here been jammed up with some bad information pertaining to funding? Chris, what up? Daphne, Tavon, what up? Trayvon, what up? What up? Derek, smart. See, here's the thing. A lot of this information in pertaining to funding is bad advice. It's bad information. I'm going to give you guys some concepts and things that you can take away today that you can move the needle in your situation and in your scenario. But let me tell you something. What up, fam? See, a lot of the times people come to us or they come to me directly or they reach out to my team and they say, Will, what separates you from other people out there doing the same thing? Yes, sounds like my whole life. Full-time CEO, welcome. What separates you from all of the other million people out there selling funding? And I'm going to tell you what it is. See, most people are just selling you information. Somebody type in the chat information. And it's nothing wrong with information. Most people are just selling you information. But what separates us, what separates me, what separates my team is we sell a result. Let me say that again. It's a lot of people selling information, but we sell a result. Now, I want to ask you a question, and you can type your answer in the chat. You can answer it to yourself. Which would you prefer, information or results? Information or results? Which one would you prefer, information or results? And here's the big difference. See, when it comes to funding, there's a lot of information on how to get funding. There's a lot of information on the top 5. On the top 5 banks to go and get funding without using your social security number. There's a lot of information that leads you to a path or leads you down a path. I'm not asking, do you want both? I'm saying, which one would you prefer? Results or the information? Okay. And whatever your answer is, 'cause somebody asked me a question. See, if you just got the information, And let's say you get information on where you can go and get $50,000 without using your social security number. Would that be something you would be interested in? And for most people, the answer would be yes. But do you know what to do with the $50,000? Do you know how to debt service the $50,000? Do you even know how much the $50,000 will cost you? So when I talk about this is going to be Funding 301, this is the class that nobody is teaching people. Everybody's only teaching people the information. See, this is the reason why I quit college, because my economics teacher only gave me information. It didn't give me it wasn't leading me down the path of the result that I wanted. And the result that I was looking for was, hey, if I take this class, if I go through college, that by the end of this program, will I have enough information to get me the desired result that I want? And the answer was no. My dilemma is this question here. What direction to take the 50K? You're in the right place, because that's what we're going to talk about today. See, unfortunately, there's too many people on the internet that can only give you the information. Meaning, my economics teacher was not economically sound, nor did he own a business. So how could he teach me economics about business in the real world if he never went down that path? And that's the problem that's going on the internet today. There's too many people selling you information, but not leading you to the path of the desired result. And the only way you can do that is we have to move the needle in the positive. Most of the information you are consuming is moving the information in the negative direction, but you don't see it because it's disguised as game. It's disguised as the play. But here is what happens. The play only works temporarily. And that is because most of the time people are only looking for the short-term gain. The short term. See, every deal that I do, my goal is to position myself for whatever I'm looking to accomplish long term, which is again why I often ask people, what is your end goal? Somebody asked me, why am I on the internet? Because people need the real information. Ghost, which are ghost profile. I often ask people, why, if you're a troll, why be on the internet? Like, go barbecue or something. Like, isn't today like a holiday? Like, go make some ribs, okay? For all my trolls on here right now. Go put something on the grill. So understanding or overstanding, and I'm going to break some simple numbers down for you guys. Because again, I'm all about the economics. Okay, and I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna keep sharing. I know everybody wants to know the shortcuts and the secrets and how to get to $1 million, but most of you aren't even ready to receive $1 million. The fees that are charged for funding is what's puzzling. There is where people get stuck. I heard of someone not being able to pay it back. That's a good question. I mean, that's a good point. Because here's the thing that nobody talks about, and I often say this. There is an opportunity cost to business, and there's a cost to money. Let me say that again. There is an opportunity cost to doing business, and there's a cost to money. Money costs. And so when you don't have a plan in place, it is not going to make sense for you. Which is why you have to learn Funding 301. And we're going to talk about that here today. So I'm pretty sure you guys have. Now, if you're ready to learn this, type the number 1 in the chat. If you're ready to learn this, type the number 1 in the chat. And I need you guys to share this. Share this with at least 3 people. And then type done. And then I'll proceed. Because I'm going to share some information with you guys that should blow your mind. And hopefully by the time we wrap up this live, you would have learned something of what not to do and what to do. Because there's too many people pushing you towards a result of things that you shouldn't be doing. But because it's easy or it sounds simple, people jump into it. See, here's the thing. Somebody write this down. The easier it is to get the money, the more difficult it is to get out of it. Let me say that again. The easier it is to get the money, the more difficult it is to get out of it. And we're going to talk about that here today. The easier it is to get the money, the more difficult it is to get out of it. It's only water. I got my water because typically I don't eat before noon. I only do liquids, chef. So I got my water in my red cup and then I got some tea. That's it. Nothing more. No tequila. No tequila before these. Write this down because documentation beats conversation and numbers don't lie. And I'm going to give you guys some real stats here today. Somebody type in the chat stats. See, I'm going to give you guys a couple different things for you to write down. Now, I'm not sipping on the Henny. I don't drink Hennessy. Hennessy, that's like with people drinking 97. I don't know. I know some people still love Hennessy, but like that's not my drink of choice. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a couple terms that I need you guys to write down. Okay, so the first term is stats. See, most people don't know their stats in their life, which is why it's very difficult for people to move the needle. See, so when you think about stats in the finance world and in the world of business, somebody said I feel attacked over the Hennessy. So most people don't know their stats. Now, the technical term is KPI. Somebody type KPI in the chat. KPI, which stands for Key Performance Indicators. Key performance stats for their life. So when they're looking to start a business, when they're looking to jump into business, when they're looking to get in some funding, it may not make sense because you don't know your stats. That's why. Because here's the thing. I've took $47,000 in business funding and turned it into several millions. Now, I'm not saying that to stunt. I'm saying that to say that it's because I knew what my KPIs were at the time. Most people don't know their KPIs because when you can take $40,000, $10,000, $50,000 of credit and put it into something that is going to move the needle, it makes sense. See, here's the reality. What up, Billions? And I know Billions can appreciate this because Billion knows his stats. Billion knows his KPIs. Billion understands economics. See, the reason Billion and I don't get a billion views is because we talk about the boring parts of money. We talk about the stats. We talk about the KPIs. We teach you guys the economics, and it's not sexy. The economic part is not sexy, but that's what makes you the millions. You will never make millions of dollars if you don't know your economics, if you don't know your KPIs, if you don't know your stats. And we're going to talk about all of that here today. I got time today. All right. I got time today. That's why I came on live early so y'all can go barbecue later today and do whatever y'all do today. All right. So here's the deal. I don't care what it costs me to get the result I'm looking for. Let me say that again. Me personally, Will Roundtree, I'm willing to pay a premium to get a result. This is why people pay personal trainers. Okay? People pay a personal trainer to get a desired result. People hire chefs. Shout out to Chef Couture, who's on here. One of the top chefs in the country. Well, internationally now, because she international. Your thoughts on high school. Okay. People pay personal chefs, especially when they understand macros. So a chef who focuses on not just being a chef, but a chef who understands the macros for somebody who's on a health journey. A person is willing to pay that chef more because they're getting a desired result and not just getting meals. This is why she's a celebrity chef. You've seen her with the French Montanas and the Neos and you name it, the who's who of entertainers. She charges a premium, which rightfully she can, because she delivers a desired result. Anybody can make meals and put them in a container. But when you deliver a desired result, it's different. So she knows her KPIs. Her KPIs is targeting her demographic of individuals who's looking and who wants to know their macros, meaning they have a certain grams of protein, certain grams of fat, certain grams of carbs, and it's broken down to a science. Because that's the only way you get the desired result of losing weight. You don't lose weight by just going to the gym. The meals is a major part of that, which is why she can charge what she charges. So she knows her KPIs. So from an economic standpoint, we have to know what our KPIs are, which is why, unfortunately, a lot of people don't see the value in investing in information that delivers a result. People buy with their eyes. So instead of focusing on the result, we focus on the planes they're getting on. We focus on the clothes they're wearing. We focus on the rooms that they're in. We focus on the celebrity they're standing next to. We focus on all of the things that has nothing to do with our own personal KPIs. And then when we buy into that, because we didn't buy into the result, we bought into the optics. It wasn't even necessarily the information. And then we get mad when we don't get the desired result. But they never said they were selling you results. They were selling you the fame. They were selling you the lifestyle. Today we're going to talk about the KPIs and understanding the economics of funding 301. So let's break this down. So now, I'm sure all of you have seen at some point in time, great information, Will, you are giving free education. Partners RK, appreciate that. Thank you. Understanding the terminology behind economics is essential. Adrian, absolutely. That's why I come on here and why I do what I do. Because most of us have probably never heard these terms. Okay, or we've heard them, but we don't know what they mean. Okay, so I'm sure most of you have seen the videos where people are coming online and saying, hey, let me show you the top 5 banks to get without social security number. You can only use your EIN number. Okay, if you've seen those posts, type the number 1 in the chat. If you've seen the post where they say, hey, let me show you how to get let me show you 5 banks that only ask for your EIN number. If you've seen those posts, type the number 1 in the chat. So now here's the thing about those, and I'm not against them. But most people KPIs don't align with that type of lending. which is why you never get the desired result that you're looking for, which is why you're always operating your business in a deficit. Okay? See, net income is. Okay? Yes, your job pays you $50,000 a year, but what is your net on that? Most people don't know how much they spend in monthly expenses. If you ask, when I sit down with the client and when I say, hey, what are your monthly expenses? They normally give me their hard numbers, their rent or mortgage, their car note, their insurance, their cell phone bill, and maybe their utilities. They don't ever break down meals and entertainment. They don't ever break down those 15 streaming services that they're paying for. Like, they don't ever break down the other 30% of what they're spending their income on every single month. I've learned a lot since being a part of Will's REI 90 program, currently getting $60K in funding, and we've structured a good plan on how to utilize that funding properly. Shout out to King Brian out there in New York. Appreciate that, King. So most people don't know their own KPIs of their income, their expenses, how much their daily how much your daily spend should be. Most people can't tell me their expenses down to the penny. Most people can't even tell me how much money they actually bring home. Most people aren't even filing their taxes properly. So how can you have a KPI on how to maneuver and move the needle in your life from a business standpoint if you aren't learning what your own KPIs are? It's impossible. How did I turn 47,000 of credit into millions? What did you do? I learned business. I learned how to take that 47,000 and reinvest it back into the business. See, most people go and get $47,000 of credit and then they go get an office. They go buy business cards. Like, they do all of the things that doesn't move the needle. I took the 47,000 and reinvested it first into becoming a better version of Will Roundtree. Then I took it and I used it to go and get a customer. See, in business, your first quest should be to get a customer. But DL, we can go more in depth in that if you want to talk about specifics on another call. Okay, most people don't know their own KPIs, and I see Nichols put that their monthly expenses is $4,500. If it's $4,500, I would assume that you round it up or down, but it should be some cents in there. For most people, unless you round it up. And if so, I'll let you have that one, Nichols 302. So when we think about, and I'm going to give you guys some stats here. Somebody type stats in the chat. I'm going to give you some stats. Because everybody who's telling you to go to these places where you can get all of this money with only your EIN, they never give you the stats. They never give the stats. But I'm going to give you all the stats here today. So let's say you want to go get some money for your business. Okay. And so you go to a place like Blue Vine. You go to a place like Linden Club. You go to a place like Cabbage. We're going to talk about this. Okay. And they tell you, hey, you can get up to $100,000 without using your social security number. You only need your EIN number. Okay, let me tell you what those qualifications are for a company like Blue Vine. Somebody type Blue Vine in the chat. Somebody type Blue Vine in the chat. Boy, my stats on TikTok continuously go down. It's like the more the more data you give on TikTok, the worse your algorithms get. I guess I gotta be doing the headstand, doing the splits, and talking about some goofy stuff for my algorithm to increase on TikTok. But that's okay. For the 9 people on here who learn it, I'm gonna keep going for y'all. Because I remember there was a time I used to do workshops and there was 2 people in there. So for the loyals on TikTok, I'm gonna keep going. All right, Blue Vine. All right, let me tell you what the stats are to qualify for, because these are the stats that they don't tell y'all about. All right. So to qualify for Bluevine, you can get up to $250,000 with only your EIN number. You need a minimum of a 625 credit score. Minimum of a 625. Now, the average credit score for blacks is about 621. The average credit score in the black community is 621. So that means that more than, a lot of people would actually qualify for Bluevine. Okay? From a credit score standpoint. Okay? Up to 250. Easy money. I can show y'all how to get the easy money, but let me give you the KPIs on this easy money. Because as I said earlier, the easier it is to get into the money, the more difficult it is to get out. It's like the game. You can get in, but it's hell getting out. Okay. The average interest rate on that line of credit, okay, is about 6 to 10%. Somebody write this down. 6 to 10% from Bluevine. The average APR, annual percentage rate. That's what APR stands for. Nina, you crazy. A marriage. I got you, DL. Yeah, that particular money I didn't use for real estate. But again, I was solely just trying to build my business at the time. All right, 6 to 10% APR. APR stands for annual percentage rate, because a lot of people don't know what APR stands for. Okay, the average term. So anytime you guys hear people say, what is the term on the money? That means how long you can borrow the money for. The average term with Bluevine. Somebody write this in the chat. 6 to 12 months. 6 to 12 months. The average term with Bluevine is 6 to 12 months. Somebody write that in the chat. The average term is 6 to 12 months. That means you have a minimum of 6 months to pay it back, but a maximum of 12 months to pay it back. Okay? Now, the lower the credit score, we're going to go back to the APR. The lower the credit score, your interest rate is higher. And here's why I have to point that out. Most people don't qualify to get the lower interest rate. That's why they're running to companies like Bluevine. So the average interest rate for someone who comes in at the lower credit spectrum, you're closer to that 15% APR. Okay, you're going to be closer to 15%. We're going to break this down. Okay, so 15% APR, 625 credit score minimum, 6 to 12 month repayment term. Oh, and I forgot to add that your average monthly revenue has to be $40,000 a month. Your average monthly revenue has to be $40,000 a month. Easy to get in loans or business lines of credit. Your average monthly has to be $8,000 to $40,000. Minimum $8,000 to $40,000. So we're going to just assume that you qualify. We're going to do some math. Okay. They're raising debt by another 10% and the value of the dollar has gone down by 70 within the past 10. Yeah, Cameron, most of them don't make this a year. I agree. I'm going to give you some stats on what the average business did in revenue in 2022. Like I say, I came with some KPIs today, y'all, to let y'all know, stop allowing people to sell y'all on the BS, on just information and not results. Okay? So we're going to assume that you qualify, because some of these type of lenders you only got to show $8,000 a month, which most businesses don't. Again, if you're trying to get funding with only just your EIN number, remember, you got to show a certain amount of revenue. Okay, so now let's break this down. In 2022, the average small business did $46,978 a year. In 2022, you mean just the result, not the information. I'm with you, bro. Yeah, I probably said it backwards, so thank you if I did. So in 2022, the average small business made $46,978 a year. Okay, let's just round that up and say $47,000 a year. Okay, that breaks down to $3,916 a month. The average small business made $3,916 a month. We'll just say the average small business did $4,000 a month. Okay, let's just say the average small business did $4,000 a month. Now remember, you still got to pay taxes on that. You still may have a payroll. You still got expenses. You got supplies. You got your pretty office. You remember you bought the G-Wagon using Section 179. So most of that went to the G-Wagon. Some of y'all will catch that later. So in 2022, the average business made $4,000 a month. Okay, which is about $48,000 a year. In 2022, the average business made $4,000 a month. All right, so let's do some math. So you go to one of those EIN only business credit lines, okay? And let's say you borrowed $50,000. Somebody write this in the chat. You borrowed $50,000. The interest rate is 15%. Will stop. I can't. Let's say you borrow $50,000 from a Blue Vine or a lending club or Fundbox or Cabbage or Hatch. There's a lot of them out there. They just keep disguising themselves. They actually get shut down and then they open back up under another name. That's actually what happens a lot of the times. Okay, so you borrow $50,000 at a 15% APR. You have a 12-month term. Okay, I'm teaching you guys economics here. You have to pay. That means you have to pay the $50,000 back within 12 months. Your average monthly payment is $4,537.81. Let me say that again. Your average monthly payment on $50,000 from one of those companies where you only use your EIN number is $4,537.81. That's how much your monthly payment is on $50,000. Now, let's say you borrowed $30,000. Okay, let's say you borrowed $30,000. Your average monthly payment on $30,000, and let's say it was a 9-month term, because some of them will only let you do 9 months. So let's say you borrow $30,000, you do a 9-month term, and your interest rate and APR is 20%. Your monthly payment is $3,843.81. On $30,000 at a 9-month term, which means you have to pay it back in 9 months. This is what people are telling y'all to go and apply for. Okay, this is what they're telling you. You can go out there and get without using your social security number. Okay, you borrow $30,000 at 20% APR at 9-month term. Your monthly payment is $3,843.81. Okay, let's say you qualify for $100,000. Okay, let's say you qualify for $100,000. Okay, it's the interest rate and the APR part I don't factor in. Okay. So true. I like your words of wisdom. Nice chat. Thank you, Donald. Thank you. Now let's say you borrowed 100. Yeah, this is very sad. This is very sad because this is what people are selling to y'all. These are the videos that get 5,000 views. These are the videos that get 10,000 views. And that is because they're selling to people's pain point, the greed side of their pain point. See, I come on here and I'm trying to teach you guys the economics of it. I'm trying to teach you how to focus on the result and not just the information. Because see, the information is why people get stuck in these type of no docs or term loans. Okay. Now, not all of the no docs are bad. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that the easier the money is to get into, the harder it is to get out of. So let's say you qualify and you get 100,000. This number should make you throw up. This number should make you throw up. So let's say you borrowed 100,000 at a 15% APR at a 12-month term. Your monthly payment is $9,075.62. Do you know how many people will sign off of this and will be out of business before? Yeah, absolutely. Live Life Invest. 80% of people who get these type of lines of credit, 88% of them go bankrupt. 88%. The stats are alarming. But more and more people, and that's why more and more these companies keep popping up, because they know y'all love them. They know that people who their pain point is greed. They know that most people aren't willing to go and fix their credit for 2 years. They know that most people don't have the patience to actually build and lay a real financial foundation. They know that most people don't know economics. They know that most people just want the money. That's why it's not 500 people on this live right now. But check this out. I'm not done. Let's say you borrowed $100,000 at a 15% APR, 12-month term. Your payment, as I mentioned earlier, is $9,075.62. It costs you $9,000 a month to borrow $100,000. Breaking Bread 21, appreciate that. But so check this out. This is what I want you to stay away from. For those who are just joining, I'm not pushing these on you. I'm teaching you what to stay away from. See, the people who are telling you to get these no EIN only lines of credit, that's what's out there. That's what's out there. So check this out. So can you imagine somebody getting you $100,000? Let me tell you how the game works. Now there's an opportunity cost. I'm gonna teach you the right way to borrow money. Thank you for that question. There's an opportunity cost to the money, and I'm not mad at it. Okay, so a person may charge you a percentage to help you get the money. So let's say they charged you $5,000 to get the $100,000. So now your payment may have just went from $9,000 to $10,000. So it may cost you $10,000 a month to borrow $100,000. But now let's keep in mind, the average small business in 2022 made $4,000 a month, not including taxes and expenses and your lifestyle. Because remember, you're a full-time entrepreneur. So now you got to pay your regular bills with your income from your business. But let's just say you do work you have a corporate job and you made $4,000 a month on your business. The average person in 2022 average income was $41,000. In 2022, people made more in their business than they do in their W-2 job. And if you combine those together, you still can't afford to pay this money back. This is why people are jammed up. This is why people are in a bad place right now, because people don't know economics. I always say you should have 6 to 12 months living. Absolutely. But so let me show you guys the proper way to leverage credit to borrow money. Okay? Let me show you guys the proper way. If you want to learn the proper way, type 1 in the chat. Lamar said, wow. I say this every day when I see, and here's the crazy part. I'm going to get on my soapbox for 35 seconds. Let me get on my soapbox for about 35 seconds. When I see these videos, and then I see people that I know commenting, like, yeah, King, look, dope, good stuff. Yeah, Queen. Like, y'all be gassing them up. That's why they keep posting the same video over and over. Y'all got to stop gassing them up, y'all. Y'all got to stop gassing them up. That's why they keep putting out these videos. But then it's videos and information and content like this that can't get to the forefront because we are attracted to what's easy. And when I say we, I'm never saying anybody here. When I'm saying we, I'm talking about collectively as humans. We're attracted to what's easy. But the money that's the easiest to get into, it's the hardest to get out of. But that's because people aren't being educated on economics. And so that's the type of information that's at the top of your For You page. That's the type of information that populates on your Explorer page. And then I'll see somebody who I know who's all in that person's comments trying to get some free game. And then they get jammed up in that. And then they wonder why they're stuck. And then guess who they pick up the phone or DM and ask for some information? Nah, you got to pay. And here's the thing, and I'm never shy, nor should any of you who are out there actually delivering real information. You should never be shy in telling people your value and what you charge people. I had a call today with a good friend of mine who started out as a client. And very successful. Used to own probably about 15 franchises. He owned several cell phone stores, and he owned several like fast food franchises, and actually sold it, liquidated, and I've been working with him solely on the real estate side, and he's done extremely successful for himself. And one of the things he said to me on the call is he said, Will, the thing I appreciate about is that you didn't try to sell me on you being the cheapest. Let me say that again for my people on here who have a business. He said, Will, I appreciate you on you not trying to sell me as you being the cheapest, because the cheapest doesn't get me the desired result. I need the results, and I'm willing to invest as long as the result is attached to it. So with that being said, when we look at how to actually properly borrow money, because when I talk about my 4-step methodology, mindset, credit, funding, and asset building, most people never get to the asset building because they skip mindset, they skipped credit, they went right to funding, and they got jammed up in one of these 18-month terms and borrowing money at $4,000 a month for 50 grand. See, here's the thing that I've been showing people for a very long time. See, when you overstand the cost of money, the opportunity cost of doing business, when you overstand economics in relation to money. See, the reason I started out borrowing money on credit cards is for a couple reasons. Somebody write these in the chat. For one, there is no term set on revolving credit. Let me say that again. There is no term when it comes to revolving credit. So when there's no term involved, that drastically brings down my payment. Excuse me. So even in relation to, even though the credit card term may be at 15%, on the grand scheme of things, that is still cheap money. See, most people, they just look at the APR, but they don't understand it's the term that drives the monthly payment up. It's not necessarily the APR, because see, I have a plan in place to use the money on the revolving credit. I'm not focused on the APR because I'm going to put it into a vehicle that is going to service the debt anyway. Somebody type in the chat, debt servicing. See, I'm not focused on the APR if there's no term attached, because I already have a vehicle that I've already calculated what my ROI is, and I know that that ROI is going to debt service that money. So when we look at it from that standpoint, because again, I'm focused on economics. I'm focused on long term. I never go into a property looking to get my money back tomorrow. This is why I don't take people money. The reason y'all seeing all these real estate gurus getting jammed up is because they're taking people money and they're promising you unbelievable returns that economically isn't even possible. If somebody say, hey, give me 50,000 today and I'm going to double your money in 6 months, they can't control that. And as Life, Live, Invest said, because of the greed, because they're tapping into the average person's pain point, which most people's pain point is greed. I don't take people money to do deals for them. No, I'm going to teach you how to fish. I'm not fishing for you. Because I'm out actively buying my own deals. I'm out actively building my own businesses. I'll teach you, but I'm not doing it for you. Because you're not going to get mad at me because your money don't come back in three hours. It might take 3 years for your money to come back. But that's because you got to know what your KPIs are. You don't know your KPIs. So now you put out money that you really can't afford, trying to get it back tomorrow because you operating out of greed. Yeah, we say we want wealth building, but wealth is a long time. Let me put it to you guys in this magnitude. Your wealth won't necessarily be built in the generation you live in. You're stacking it. KPI stands for key performance indicator, meaning what are the stats for your end goal or your end result. So I'm willing to go and borrow money on credit cards that do not have a term attached. Okay, so even at 15%, I'm gonna show you guys this math. So at 15%, if I borrow $30,000, my monthly payment on 30 grand at 15% on revolving credit is $600 a month. $600. Now that same 30,000 on a 9-month term at 20% APR is $3,800 a month. This is why people are stuck where they are. They don't know their KPIs in their real life. They don't know their KPIs in their business, nor do they know their KPIs when it comes to money. So if you don't know your KPIs or your stats for your own money, or your revenue, your income, how will you be able to identify how to get cheaper money? How will you understand the opportunity cost of money? How will you understand the cost of money? But what happened is you bought into easy. You see the person jumping off of the jet. You see the people standing next to your favorite celebrity. You see the person in the pictures, in the rooms, in the jewelry, in the drip, in the cars, on the vacations. And so you're willing to buy into whatever it is that they're pointing in the sky to, because that's really what you are trying to get. And you don't even know what your KPIs are. See, I've been teaching this creative financing before the internet. I was teaching this creative financing and how to do real estate using credit cards before the pandemic, before courses. Yes, you do have to qualify, but that's not what today. You have to qualify for no matter what the money is. See, I would rather borrow $30,000 at a $600 a month clip than borrow. You've been in YouTube forever, giving gems for sure. Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah. Y'all go back and watch the old YouTube videos where I'm unrecognizable. I don't even recognize that person. I had to figure out my own life KPIs and change my own KPIs from some of y'all will get that later. So we have to understand most people can't identify the difference because we don't know enough about enough. So I remember one of my first properties I bought Your Credit is King book. Thank you. So I remember I bought my very first property, and I'm going to go into some other high level stuff here shortly. I bought my very first property. It was $25,000. The property. You're not finding these prices no more, y'all. So my house is from me at $25,000. And now they $75 to $100. It's still some good margins, but just know them $25,000 is done. Okay. So at $25,000, I bought my very first property with credit cards. Okay. So now, yes, I do use DSCR loans. Okay. Now, we've already done the simple math. We already know that $30,000 at 15% APR is going to cost me $600 a month. Okay. So now let's say I pay $30,000 for that property. Okay. We're just to make the math simple. Let's say I paid $30,000 for that property. The property rent at the time was $925 a month. The property rent at that time, DSCR loan, is debt service coverage ratio loan. That's where you can buy investment properties without having to show proof of income. And it's actually a really dope loan because it forces you to find the property that makes sense, because they will only finance it if it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Meaning if the mortgage is $1,000, the rent has to be at least $1,000. It prevents people from getting in bad real estate loans. And this is something I teach in my REI 90 in my real estate group coaching program. Okay, so let's say I bought the property at $30,000. Okay, I bought it at $30,000. Fun, beautiful BFF. Thank you. I appreciate that. I already know my mortgage is $600, and my mortgage is tied to the credit card. Okay, y'all follow me. I'm about to blow your mind here in a minute. I'm about to blow. If you want me to blow your mind, Type the number 1 in the chat. Let me tell you why I've been able to be in this space for over 10 years. Is because I'm going to teach you guys abstract concepts. Okay? I'm going to blow y'all mind here right now. So, D1000 put a bunch of ones. All right, so let's say you bought the property, $30,000 off of the credit card. We already know the debt servicing is $600. The rent is $925. Okay? Now, after taxes, insurance, property management, you may break even. Okay? Man, you keep blowing my mind. Been rocking with you for a long time. Dion, appreciate that. Thank you. So now, after taxes, insurance, debt servicing, property management, vacancy percentage, cap X, whatever expenses you include, you may break even. And I'm fine with that. Let me tell you why I'm fine with breaking even in real estate. Because I'm playing long term. Somebody type in the chat long term. I'm playing long term. I'm not necessarily looking to get my money tomorrow. I understand that any property that Will Roundtree invests in, I'm looking to hold it forever. Unless somebody comes in with a stupid offer. But I'm looking to hold that property forever. So I'm okay because I'm going to force appreciation through debt servicing. Here's what that means. As long as I continue to make the payments, eventually that $30,000 gets down to $25,000. The $25,000 gets down to $20,000. Okay? So keep that in mind. Next, the property will eventually appreciate. Now, just because I paid $25,000, that does not mean that is what it became. The value increased to about $42,000 that year. Somebody type this in the chat. Eventually, that year, that property increased in value to $42,000. Okay? Now, I haven't even gotten to the mind-blowing part yet. I'm teaching y'all how to play chess. I'm teaching you how to play chess. I ain't played checkers in a long time, y'all, because it's no thinking involved. But with chess, it's all strategic. See, I'm willing to lose 3 pawns to trap your king. Most people don't get that. All right, here's the mind-blowing part coming up. Stay tuned. So, the property eventually increased to value to $42,000. I paid $25,000 on my credit card, $30,000 on my credit cards. I knew the credit card debt servicing was $600. The rent is $925, and I'm breaking even every month. I'm okay with that. See, a lot of people stop trying to buy real estate to get rich off of one property. Stop trying to buy real estate so you can quit your job off of one property. That's why people get jammed up. So it appreciated to $42,000. Now I can go and do a cash out refinance. Okay, I can do a cash out and get the $42,000 and pay off the $30,000 on the credit cards. Let me say that again. I can cash out refi and get the $42,000 on a mortgage. I can get up to 80% of that. And my mortgage is going to go down to probably about $200. But let's just say you can't refinance yet. Okay, because I hear people saying, that's not enough to cash out refi. Okay, so here's the mind-blowing part. If you're ready for the mind-blowing part, type 1 again. Here is the result that nobody is teaching you guys. So let's say you use your credit to get that property at $30,000. Okay. And let's say something happens and your credit takes a nosedive. Let's say something happens and your credit takes a nosedive. Did you know you still own that property? Let me say that again. You used revolving credit, cheaper money. You took $30,000 off of credit cards that's going to cost you $600 a month. You went and bought a property. Okay, you bought a property that is cash flowing. It's actually making money. And let's just say everything hit the fan. Life happened, because life will happen at some point in time in your life. And your credit took a nosedive. You still own the property, which means you're still getting monthly rents, which means you actually own an asset, which means on paper you may be broke, but in assets you are not. So all you have to do is recalibrate your foundation. And even if it took you a year or two to get your credit back in shape, you own the assets that's paying you, that you could sell and break even again, that you can eventually refinance. There's other strategies that we can do. We can deed the property to somebody who got good credit and then actually refinance it. See, here's the thing that most people don't know when it comes to real estate. This is why I keep telling y'all to use your credit to get real estate. I get excited, y'all. Don't mind me, because I'm thinking about this property that I'm about to take down next month. Here's something. Did you know, this is something I ain't teaching y'all in Real Estate 101 off the internet. Did you know there's a difference between the deed and the title? If you don't know the difference, type the number 2 in the chat. There is a difference between the deed and the title. If you do not know the difference, type the number 2 in the chat. What's my thoughts on land banks, King? Here's my thing. I invest in anything that can make money. So I don't pick just one strategy. All right, here's the difference. I get excited, y'all. I get excited. So here's the difference. The title is how the property is recorded. How it's recorded. The deed is who owns it. Okay? So here's the deed. Now, remember, we bought this property for $30,000. Okay? We bought the property for $30,000. We used the credit card. I'm going to just pretend this is the credit card. Okay? Let's just pretend this is credit, because this actually is linked to some credit. For those who know what this is for, if you know, you know. So here's the credit. I'm going to use the credit to buy this property that I now own, the deed to this property. My credit took a nosedive, but I still own the deed to this property. Title is how it was recorded. Okay? I can now take this deed and quit claim it, not quick. It's not Q-U-I-C-K. It's quit claim. Q-U-I-T. Quit claim the deed to somebody else through title. Is going to cost you a couple dollars. And now I can refinance that property because I used my credit to buy it. This is why you have to know what the end result is of how this process works. This is why you have to know the difference between information and the result. This is why you have to know the economics of the money and not just how to go get the money. This is why you have to know the difference between getting the ease. Oh yeah, absolutely. I get it wrong too sometimes, King. King or queen, because I can't see the face on there. This is why sometimes too, you have to know the difference in the cheaper money. This is why you got to stay away from the short-term lending, because most people can't service the debt long enough. Because here's the reality. What people are doing and why they get jammed up. Okay? If you taking notes and following me, type number 1 in the chat. Yeah, this is high level strategy for free. With y'all going in these rooms, paying these celebrities where they ain't teaching you nothing. Y'all pay like you will never hear this type of information in one of them rooms. Ever. Ever. You will never hear this type of information. They gonna show you their cars. They gonna show you the trips they've been on. They gonna show you the pictures of who they've been standing next to, and then they gonna say, "But if you go to the back of the room, I'll give you my Google Voice number, and you can pick up the phone and call and ask me questions and and whatever." Okay. In the state of Texas, deeds are insurable. What's another way around transferring the property? You can sell it to them for $1. If you own I'm talking in the sense that you own the property free and clear. You can sell them the property for $1. And when you sell it to them for $1, guess what? Your taxes are only on $1. The quit claim deeds are not insurable. Yeah, you could sell them the property for $1. And y'all want to know what's so crazy? I actually learned this strategy a long time ago. I had a friend who had a vehicle he was selling me. It was like an old school car. And he said, "Will, I'm going to sell you the car for $1 so I only have to pay taxes on $1. Blew my mind. Good day, Will. We have 4 books of yours to give away. Chris, what up, man? Yeah, I'm going to do something on here today too, Chris. Thanks for the reminder. So here's the deal. This is stuff that they're not going to teach y'all in these rooms with the celebrities and the infomercial testimonials, whatever. This is why we have to know economics. We have to, because we get so caught up in the hoopla that nobody is teaching people. See, I come on here and I teach y'all. This ain't even my best stuff. My team is on here. They'll tell like this. Like I did a 4-hour webinar breaking down funding. All the stuff that and I did this webinar like 3 years ago. A 4-hour webinar. People was locked in. And I had an underwriter who was on there and was like, "Will, they don't even teach this stuff at our banks." I know some of my REI 90 mentees are on here. They'll tell you they walk into they'll walk into banks. And the banks are surprised at the information they know. Okay? Not in Texas. You can sell the car for $1, but you still have to pay the blue book on the taxes. Yeah, no, that may be the case. And again, I don't live in Texas. I don't sell in Texas. So you definitely consult with your attorney. But trust me, there are ways around it. See, that's the thing we have to start learning. Like, let me tell you something one of my mentors taught me a long time ago. And this is something too why people are getting caught up with these real estate gurus who just taking their money. Because we haven't learned how to structure deals. I would never send somebody X amount of dollars without paperwork being in place. But let me tell you why we're in this position. Can we have a real honest dialogue today? Somebody, if we can have a real honest dialogue today, type yes in the chat for me, please. If we can have a real honest dialogue today, somebody type yes in the chat. Let's have a real honest dialogue. See, here's why a lot of people are getting jammed up. Let's use real estate for example. Okay, we're going to use real estate for example. So, first of all, they sell you on the easy. They sell you on the easy. Here's their pitch. Hey, come and do real estate with me. You know, I'm standing here with so-and-so, and all you have to do is park your money with me, and I'm going to give you 30% returns in 6 months. Okay? So then you wire them the money. It ain't no real contract in place. You didn't look up their LLC, see if it's even credible, if it's even still registered. Because a lot of y'all out here using DBAs and sole proprietorships. Not filing taxes, etc. But anyways, that is true. Some of them is fraudulent. But let me get to where I'm showing you guys. See, a lot of what people are doing is they're going after people who went and got money from all these other places, but then they're selling you on the easy, because here's the reality. A lot of the times people are just sending their money to the people because the people who are paying these celebrity gurus or paying these real estate gurus or these financial gurus, because we don't want to do the hard work. I'm looking at my screen. I have Facebook and Twitter on here. I'm on more screens than just my phones. Okay. When you register LLC, is it a one-time or do you have to renew it? Every state is different. Some states you do have to pay a renewal, but that's the cost of doing business. So we have to first learn what the actual process it is when investing in real estate. So if somebody say, hey, first if they say cash at me or no, I'm only sending money. So if I'm buying a property, it has to go through title or an escrow account, because you can use an attorney. Why is the sole proprietor bad? I didn't say the sole proprietor is bad. What I'm saying is that I'm only looking to do business with people who are looking to take their business serious. That's just Will Roundtree's point of view. I'm not doing business with people who have a sole proprietorship. I want to do business with people who have a business and a business license to do business. That's Will Roundtree's qualification. If I'm doing real estate with you, I'm only sending money through an escrow account. And here's the other thing. Let's say you're using a contractor. You can set up an escrow account for paying a contractor. You can find an escrow attorney. They hold the money in an account. You use your escrow attorney. Go find one. Don't say, oh, who do I call? You find one who works for you. Because here's the thing. Let me tell you why you want to interview your escrow attorney. Because if you use their escrow attorney, who are they working for? They're working for them. So about 4 or 5 years ago, from a mass standpoint, and that is because I've started to learn that back then people didn't want to learn how to build a real business. Everybody was focused on just trying to get money. But see, I try to teach people how to build a real business. So even in real estate, I'm trying to teach you how to build a real estate business. So if you just want to get a sole proprietor, I'm not doing business with you. If you're sending me a Cash App request, I'm not doing business with you. Because I have to protect my money. And people actually got offended when I said I'm not doing business with people who only use Cash App. Why? It's my money. See, the reason people keep getting jammed up is because y'all want to do what's easy. So we have an actual tax strategist on here who does taxes at a very high level, who's saying, I'm saying it's bad because you have negative tax law, negative leverage, and negative perception factors. So when it comes to having a DBA, he just broke down why. But I'm going to tell you why people, because people don't want to pay the fee to go get the LLC. It's like $300. If you live in a state where it's more, set up in another state. But this is why you got to have mentorship or somebody who can actually guide you through these processes and procedures. Or go learn it yourself. I'm not even saying you got to have a mentor. Go learn it yourself. Take this Memorial Day while you flipping over your ribs and go learn what you got to do to set up a business properly. It's like put an audio on while you making your barbecue sauce, okay? It's really not that hard. LLCs in the state of Mississippi is $50. To be honest with you, bro, people just make excuses. I agree, Queen. We make excuses. I'm not doing business with people who don't have a legitimate business set up. They say that it's better to have a C corp. Is that true? No, you want to find out what works for you. That's why you want to get a tax specialist. And I'm not saying you particularly. Stop listening to these gurus on the internet. How can you know what business structure works for you if you haven't been qualified to figure out what business structure works best for you? Now, for most instances, I do like setting up an LLC, and then once I'm making about 40 to 50,000 a year, then I'm gonna convert it to an S corp. Because then, guess what? With the S corp, the money that I pay myself as a salary is tax deductible. But they ain't teach y'all that in the little cute video that they pointing in. They don't teach y'all that. But anyways. So the thing is we have to focus on the structure first. We have to focus on the economics of the business. Then we have to focus on the debt servicing. See, this is why I do what I do. And this is why I work with, the tax strategist said, most cases C Corp is the worst. Y'all want to know why most people like C Corps? Because people hear the word incorporated and they think it sounds professional. Am I lying, Brian? People hear incorporated and they think it sounds like high level and professional. If you got a C Corp, you're double taxed. Like, I'm telling y'all, look, y'all, this is what y'all need to start doing. On all this business credit y'all getting, y'all need to take a couple $100 and go book a consultation to speak with the real tax strategist. Like that's the type of stuff I'm willing to invest in. Because I know that gives me the desired result I need and it moves the needle. See, the benefit of joining my REI 90 program is I'm giving you access to all of the resources. I have my tax strategist in there. I have my attorney in there who understands contract law at a very high level. I have all of the professionals you need. So now you can qualify them to see if they fit your needs. But you're going to at least also learn the questions to ask whether you use them or you go somewhere else. That's the type of stuff you should be investing in. Yeah, buzzwords, passive income, generational wealth. Yeah, y'all got to be careful with all of that. If they're not teaching you economics, generational wealth means nothing. Matter of fact, when y'all get on the phones with these gurus, You should start interviewing them and say, are you going to teach me economics along with getting this property? Are you going to teach me economics along with me getting this funding? They may hang up the phone on you because you offended them. Most people who have C Corp set it up themselves or have someone that don't understand business past a sole proprietor, etc., etc. I'm telling y'all, like Brian and I have been teaching y'all this stuff since 2010. Before the internet. But because we don't use the buzzwords that everybody uses, they're going to hang up the phone. They want you to actually learn, and because I know most people don't take notes on the calls that they be on, you're going to at least be able to get the information in the video. Will trying to move me to Milwaukee, ghetto in the Lower East Side. Not sure what that means, Larry. So this is the stuff we have to learn, y'all. If your CPA just files your taxes and doesn't talk about strategy, you might have the wrong CPA. Chris Gibson, no. Chris Gibson, no. And so here's the thing. Chris, are you in a position to come on here live with me? See, Chris reached out to me about probably a couple weeks ago, and he was like, Will, I've been following your blueprint to a T, and I understand the economics. It's nothing wrong with borrowing money. We just have to know how to borrow the money the right way. So Chris went out and borrowed the money the right way, took some lines of credit, took some credit lines, took some installment loans, and went out and bought a multifamily property. Not because it's just buy multifamily, because not all multifamilies make sense. But he bought it the right way, took it, and now is going to flip that money. It's covering the debt servicing. And then he's going to rinse and repeat that whole scenario. All off the information he got for free from me just being on these lives. And from that, he said, Will, I want to start doing more with you because you're the only one teaching me the economics. Everybody else is just trying to push me to get a bunch of funding. You're teaching me the economics. Let's see if we can hear from Chris for a hot second. That's the difference. You got to learn the economics of this game, or else you'll be wiped out. What up, Chris?
Hey, how you doing, Will?
Man, I'm doing good, fam. Thank you for hopping on here, man.
Yes, it's great to see you, man.
Definitely, man. Thank you. So, for all of the people in the back, how important was what you learned about the economics of what I taught you over the years? How did that help you with your strategy, as opposed to just going out there getting a bunch of money and not knowing what to do with it?
Well, you definitely have to know the cost of the money so you won't lose, you know, or at least hedge your risk when you borrow the monies.
And what was it? Because that's not always easy for people to learn. But let's rewind it. How long of a time frame were you actually learning? Or as I call it, increasing your learning index before you actually jumped out there. Because I want people to know this stuff doesn't come overnight.
I learned about Rich Dad Poor Dad back in 2018. Plus, I've been learning ever since we closed on our first multifamily last year, September 2022. So I drive semi trucks at night, so I'm able to educate myself every night that I go to work. So I'm kind of working two times, you know.
And
I'm going there and also educate myself.
Now, getting access to that amount of capital, why did it not scare you? Because I will say sometimes getting $200,000 worth of credit can be scary for people. But why were you so confident going after that amount of capital?
Number one, I think number two, I was an entrepreneur. I had the math right. I knew that once we got to the buildings up to the income that it needed to come in every month to service our debts from our 3 loans that we had, our HELOC, and our 4 credit cards. So
perfect. No, and I appreciate you coming on, Chris. I know you also bought some books that you wanted to do a giveaway on. So this is what I'm gonna do. How many books do you have left, Chris?
We got 4. We got 4. We got 3 of your full-time CEO to give away, and then we got 1 of the Credit is King to give away. Okay,
so Chris has 3 books left that he's gonna give away. We given away a few already. So this is what I'm gonna do. I need you to go to your DM or whatever social media platform you're on and write something that you've learned that's helped you move the needle. Tag me and post it, and I will send it to Chris, and he will send you a free copy of the book. And this is also what I'm going to do. Anybody who does it today, I will also match Chris and send you a copy of a book. So all today. So if 20 people do it today, we sending out 20 books. If 40 people do it today, we sending out 40 books. If you go to your social media and put something that you've learned that has moved the needle, but you got to credit Will Roundtree and tag me so we can repost it. Myself and Chris one of us will send you a free copy of my book. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Go to your social media. You got to say something. You can do a video. If you can do a video, but you got to tag me, post me, and I'll re-forward it, and you'll get a free copy of my book. So that's what we'll do between myself and Chris. So Chris, man, I appreciate you hopping on, man, and sharing your experience. Keep going out there, getting all them properties, man, and keep using the bank money to do it.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate you for bringing me on, man. It's good to spend you, man. Keep on pumping that good stuff coming.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Chris.
Take care.
So y'all heard my brother Chris said, look, he went out and got a HELOC. For those who don't know, that stands for a home equity line of credit. He used some credit lines, but he overstood his cost first. See, that's the thing. Like, I have several clients on here who they'll tell you, I'm going to make sure you understand your cost before we jump into a property, until you run up your credit card debt. That's the main focus. We have to learn economics. So now, today is the 29th. I ran a promotion for the month of May, which started out as a Mother's Day promotion. I have my real estate group coaching and my funding program 50% off. So I'm already saving you on your cost savings on the front end to get involved so you can learn on the back end. See, when you join my funding program, you also get on a monthly funding call. Jamel said economics was major for me. I'm telling you, that's the part that they're not teaching people on here. It's the economics that separates. My REI 90 program, which is my real estate group coaching, 50% off on the REI 90 and the REI 90 Lite. I have 2 versions. I teach you economics in real estate. I'm teaching you economics on the funding. I have a funding software that can put it on autopilot. And next month, I'm actually going to bring my white label back, which is where I'm going to white label my funding program with the software. I have several people. If you have a business where you have a book of business, so for my tax offices, for my real estate investors, for my insurance, my individuals who own insurance companies, you have access to people who are looking for capital to run their businesses. Why not automate it? Why not automate it? The difference between the programs. So with the REI 90 and the REI 90 Lite, the difference with the Lite is you don't get the live calls, but you get them after they're recorded. And right now there's 29 lessons in there, 27 or 28, 29. I lost count. But you definitely have enough about enough. Okay. Is Credit is King an actual hard copy book or just the ebook? It's an actual hard copy. It's an actual hard copy, fam. One of the top selling books. I was in a room with some very established authors about a week or two ago. And when I told them how many copies of this book actually sold, he said, Will, do you know the average person will never sell that amount of copies? This is one of the top selling books in the space. And then we have The Full-Time CEO, which personally I still think this is my favorite book. I think it's going to take some time before people actually catch on. Did y'all know 48 Laws of Power took over 10 years before it actually became popular? The book actually became popular in prison. And they started to ban the book in prison because of the concepts that the inmates started to learn. Rich Dad Poor Dad. It took years for that book to translate because a lot of people didn't understand the concepts. And how the book Rich Dad Poor Dad became popular was that someone in the company Amway was in a car wash and actually saw the book and read it and took that book to their upline in Amway. And then Amway brought it into the network marketing industry, which is how I actually learned about Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I've been studying Kiyosaki since 2003. Okay. I just clicked the link. I'm trying to get the book. You can go to Amazon to get the book. Amazon. What's the first? That's the first book my friend read in life in prison. Yeah. 48 Laws of Power was actually banned eventually from prison. Because I'm telling y'all, they say if you want to hide something from people, you put it in a book. But people do not understand the power of information in books. I guarantee you there's not one person in the credit space who's making a lot of money who this book has not impacted. If you know somebody in the credit space that's doing 6 and 7 figures a month, this book has been a prerequisite in their journey. I can guarantee you. And if it wasn't directly, it was done indirectly. It's not a lot of people, a lot of authors that can say this. I was writing books before it became popular. And I'm not saying that like to stunt or flex, but I'm telling y'all, like, I didn't go out there and rip information from 1,000 other people to write my book. This is all firsthand knowledge from Will Roundtree that I wrote that is very digestible. It's not a lot of big words, a lot of big vocabulary. Can you hold the books up? Absolutely, I got you. Credit is King and Full-Time CEO. Anwar, what up? And you can go to Amazon. And I'm giving you guys an opportunity to get a free copy. You make a video talking about how I've helped you move your needle in your life. Post it and tag me. I'll send you a copy of one of the books. You just tell me which copy you want. But you got to tag me. You got to tag me so I can see it. And you get a free copy. And this is today and today only. Not tomorrow. Not post Memorial Day. Not June 2nd. I just ordered mine. Thank you. Thank you. And here's the thing too, I tell people. If you read a book once, you won't get out of it everything that you need. Derek Smart, book changed my life. Thank you, fam. Thank you. Just got both books. Little hugs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See, I read Think and Grow Rich every year. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad every year. I read How to Win Friends and Influence People every year, or even just listening to the audios. But here's the thing. I don't read it all the way through. Will turned me into an international player. And why are you crazy? I read the book to the point to where what I needed out of that book, I then go and apply. Sorry, I just came in. What should I do? Special K. So if you post a video and talk about or share if anything that you've learned from me has helped you, has moved the needle in your life, have given you some information so you can get a desired result, you make a video, you post it, you tag me, and then I'll repost it and you get a free copy. See, the book is so hot, I can't even hold it. And you get a free copy of one of my books. And I'll sign it. And I'm also going to even throw in a free journal. I just ordered some journals. I'm going to even send you a free journal so you can keep notes of what you are reading. Okay? So for everybody who get a free copy, and the journals are going to go on sale soon, but you will get a free copy of the book if you make a video, post it, share it, whatever. Is the paperback hard copy? Yes, they are on Amazon. They are on Amazon as well. There's so many people trying to give financial advice. Yeah, it's a lot of them, but most of them give bad information or wrong information. Most of them give bad, if not wrong, information. So with that being said, look, family, I appreciate y'all. I think I've been on here like an hour and a half, sharing some information. Hopefully you guys have gotten something out of this so you can go into your Memorial Day. And while y'all sitting around breaking bread, why don't you share something and put together a game plan to help move the needle with your family's life? My mentor, King Will, changed my life. And yes, Will, name is ringing from Tampa to Dubai to Afghanistan and Iraq. Thank you, Robert. Yes, Robert got me on speakerphone while he's out there in Dubai half the time with this information. So I appreciate that, King Robert. If anything, I found you and to listen to you more. Thank you, Chocolate Kisses _814. Make sure that you follow, like, and share, because these are the type of, I will hope this is the type of content. It's like the game Whisper Down the Lane. You got the person who's gotten the information secondhand, who got the information secondhand, who got the information secondhand, and then they come on here and start giving y'all a game, but they don't know the real game because they got the information, 10 degrees removed. So we got to start holding people accountable, asking questions. And again, if you're not learning the economic side of what it is you're investing in, somebody possibly may have just set you up for failure. Thank you, Chocolate Kisses. Will, do you recommend getting a real estate license if you want to get into real estate? It's not necessary. I tell people you got to figure out what it is that you want to accomplish in real estate. Me, I want to be an investor. So I had to go learn information to make me the best investor. Unfortunately, having a real estate license, they teach you everything that's almost against about what you need to learn to be a master investor. And when I say master investor, I'm not saying you're an expert. A master investor to me is someone who knows how to identify deals. Doesn't mean you should be teaching real estate or you're a real estate guru. A master investor is someone who knows how to identify deals. And the reason a lot of people keep getting jammed up with these real estate gurus, outside of being enamored and impressed because they see their favorite celebrity standing next to them, they don't know how to identify deals. I would never send somebody money if my money isn't going through an escrow account. I would never, again, because this one, I gave this one to y'all for free. If I'm paying a contractor $75,000, you damn right I'm going to go get an escrow attorney, and that money is going through escrow. And if that contractor isn't willing to pay and abide by my terms, I'll go find somebody who is. Period. And that's the thing that people have to start learning. But we get so caught up in, I don't want to make this person mad. No, in business, you're going to piss somebody off. That's why I said this on a live not too long ago. This information was fired. Thank you, Chocolate Kisses. Thank you. I said this on a live. What up, fam? I said, look, I came online to be disruptive, which means, yes, what you hear from me may piss you off, but it's going to be the truth. And so we have to stop buying into what's easy. It's simple because the concepts are simple, but it's the discipline part that's the hard part for people. But we so focused on trying to hurry up and look like we're doing real estate. We so focused on trying to hurry up so we can tell people we own properties that we skip all of the basic steps just so we can say that we own something. And you really don't own it because you didn't go through title. I just told y'all, the title is how the property is recorded. So if there's no record of how it's recorded, you don't own the property. I don't care how many jets somebody hop off of, look, I'm a huge fan of Nas, for people who know my hip hop pedigree. I don't give a damn what stadium Nas is in and what real estate guru Nas is standing next to. I'm not sending my money to Nas, Nasir Jones, Nasty Nas, or Esco if it ain't going through a title company or an escrow account. I only want to do business with people who are doing it the right way. Period. But unfortunately, too many people get caught up in the optics of what they think business is, as opposed to actually doing business. Yes, didn't know you can do that with contractors. Yeah, anytime a large sum of money is being transferred, you can have an escrow account set up. You just have to find a title company or an escrow attorney who's willing to do it. But see, they're not teaching you all that in Flip 101. They teaching you how to be a celebrity flipper. Is this live going to be recorded? Yes. It will also be on my YouTube. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube, please go and do so now. But this is the type of stuff that we teach so that you don't get jammed up. Just so you could say you got a picture with so-and-so. Look, if we stop focusing on wanting to be in the pictures with these dudes, we would actually probably figure out who real and who not. Like, facts. You know what I'm saying? So, great live today. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all post them videos. Tag me. I'll send you a copy of the book. Chris will send you a copy of the book. My brother Nico said, thinking with their eyes, and people need to stop thinking and doing business with their eyes. Absolutely. In Cal Estate, real estate transactions have escrow and title. I'm telling y'all. And that's coming from one of the top realtors, Portia King, out in California and out there in LA. All right, because they're trying to take your money up front and floss. Coach Hamber, what's going on? And that's the other thing too. Like, we got to start doing our own due diligence. But that's because we haven't identified how to identify deals. We want to just be in a room. So y'all better stay out of these conferences that ain't showing results. That's all I'm going to say. So with that being said, y'all go out, have a great weekend. Have a safe, well, not a weekend, have a safe Monday. And I will see y'all back soon on the lives. Until then, I'll talk to y'all and I'll see y'all at the top. Peace.